We're going to be talking about today how to go from being inconsistent to consistent. You can see this one, not very happy. This one's happy. And we're going to start with talking about why consistency is so important. It's always on my board, but I always lose it. So funny. Okay. Consistency. Why is it so important? And we're going to talk about how our brain receives messages from being inconsistent before we even get into breaking the pattern. We're going to get there. But stay with me. Okay. We had a hurricane here in Florida. It was pretty bad. Thankfully, my area was not very affected, but man, it was pretty bad. So I'm coming to you live from post Hurricane Helene. All right, consistency. Let's talk about the person that's inconsistent. This person, not very happy. Inconsistent. Now, what happens when this person doesn't do what they say they're going to do? Okay, so a common one is, I'm going to go to the gym. And when this person does not go to the gym, they say, things like, this is what they promise. And then they end up saying, I'll just go tomorrow. Or, I just didn't go. Or, I'll do it another day. All right. Here's this person's little brain in here. I'm good at drawing some things, not everything. I just kind of want to make it a little more. Okay. So what this does, when this person says, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. But then they wake up in the morning and they say, I'll just go tomorrow. I just didn't want to go. Or I'll do it I'll do it another day. This just sent your brain a message that I can't trust myself. What happens in this amount of time from here to here? I can't trust myself. And what does that affect? Self-confidence, self-worth, self-love. Because what happens when you're in a relationship and this person says, yeah, I'm going to do the dishes for you, or yeah, I'm going to make sure this is taken care of, and then they don't do it? What happens? You don't trust them. You don't have confidence in the relationship, and you struggle to feel worthy and loved because you don't feel like that person's making you a priority. And so this is all the stuff that's going on inside of your body here when you say, I'm going to do something, and then you don't do it. You can take this and apply it to anything: business, gym, health, relationship. Every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you just sent your brain a message, I can't trust myself. That impacts your self-confidence, your self-worth, your self-love every single time. So every single time you do it, another hit, another hit, another hit, another hit. And then you wonder, why is it that I hate myself? Why is it I'm so mad at myself? I have all this anxiety, I have all this depression. Because then we start getting bogged down by these low vibrating emotions. We're talking grief. And if you've watched my other videos, and I'll pull it up on the screen too, the map of consciousness, it shows how impactful these low vibrating emotions are. And that's why you're feeling stuck. That's why you can't even get yourself to the place of consistency. So you're causing yourself grief, shame, guilt, anger. and all those other low vibrating emotions that are on the spectrum there. Whatever it is that you're going to feel from constantly sending your brain the message that I'm not important. I'm not making myself and my desires a priority. And then you go out into the world and you're like, why isn't my boss making my desires a priority? Why isn't my partner making my desires a priority? And you're curious as to why, and it's because you are simply reflecting what it is you have inside of yourself. You are simply not even holding yourself to your own standards and your own boundaries. I actually had a client session today, and he doesn't necessarily have a drinking problem, but he doesn't want to drink. And he keeps drinking at his events, just having a drink here or a drink there because everybody else is having a drink. And he said, it just makes me want to do it more now because I just keep having this one drink and I just feel betrayed by myself already. I'm already down for the count, so I'm just going to do it again and again and again. These emotions, it's not the drinks that are addicting. It's not the drugs. It's not the outside forces that are addicting. These emotions are addicting. Addiction to suffering, addiction to chaos. It keeps you stuck in these old vibrations, these old patterns. These old patterns will run your life until you learn to break them. So we're going to talk about breaking out of this inconsistency pattern. I just want to say it again. Every time you don't do what you say you're going to do, you just sent your brain a message. I can't trust myself. Takes it on your self-confidence, your self-worth, your self-love, which makes you feel grief, shame, guilt, anger, betrayal, not a priority. All these things that maybe you're used to. You have to ask yourself, okay, how did I grow up? Did I feel like that in my past? Am I keeping myself in that emotional pattern? And if you are, we're gonna have to talk about that. We're gonna have to do something about it. So, I'm sure you're wondering now, how do I break out of this? This sucks. I also want you to know that the consistency is the key to success. I don't care who says what. When you do something repetitively in any area of your life, it grows. So if you think about something every single day, that thought grows and it starts to manifest in your life. If you do something every single day, that action builds on itself and starts to manifest in your life. You see people, it's a pattern of the world, right? Consistency is just a building block that builds and builds and builds and builds and builds this big empire as long as you stick with it and you do it every single day. It's a pattern of the world because we see it show up in interest with the banks. You see it show up in funds. You see it show up if you stick with something long enough, even when it'll take a dip sometimes, it always raises back up. It raises back up. Because I'm not saying you're not going to go through hard times or you're not going to fall off. You are a trend. You are a pattern. I've more recently been researching trends in the market. And I find them so fascinating because they're so similar to life. Because they're created off of human emotions. That's what the stock market is really created off of, human emotions. And if you can track human emotions, you can track anything in life. And you can start to master your life and start to enter self-mastery. So you must know that life isn't just pleasant and awesome and amazing all of the time. I wish it was, and I wish I could tell you something different. But we will take dips, and these dips make us stronger and actually increase our second wave, and then our next wave, and then our next wave. And if you are consistent, you will ride your own personal uptrend. If you are not, and I've seen it before, it's not fun, you will start to ride what I call high highs and low lows. And then you kind of just end up at the same place you started. So we want to ride an uptrend. We don't want to just end up in the same place and end up asking ourselves, why do I always end up here? Let's ride that uptrend. All right, let's get into it. I know you're wanting to know, how do I break this inconsistency pattern? How do I get there? Well, let's do it together. As we know, all patterns are not the same. You'll have to plug this in for yourself, but I will give you a pretty common example and show you how to break this pattern down. And if you are taking notes or you're getting any breakthroughs during this video, please drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And I also love when you guys give me some feedback on the quality of the video, how you guys are receiving the video. I am still working on getting better gear for this YouTube page, but I promise I'm working on it because this is just something I'm really passionate about. So if you watch my other videos, you know a pattern starts with a limiting belief. Creates a fear. Creates a behavior. Outcome. So let's plug it in. Let's go with the grain. Oh, I forgot my G. Limiting belief. This is gonna be okay. Limiting belief. The limiting belief probably gonna fall somewhere along the lines of, I'm not enough. The fear probably be success. Behavior will be self-sabotage. The outcome will be you're stuck in the same place. Kind of like that pattern we were looking at. You just end up in the same place. All right. What happens? Yes. Okay. I'm not enough, which creates a fear. Well, then we get a fear of success, right? And then how that shows up is self-sabotage, stuck in the same place. When you're stuck in the same place, how does that make you feel? When you're not getting anywhere? Probably makes you feel like you're not enough. I'm not enough. So if you're having this limiting belief, I'm not enough. If you're feeling you're not enough, there's no way your mind and body is going to allow you to be successful. There's actually fear of being success. It's outside of your comfort zone. So your current capacity is only to be so successful. Anything outside of that really makes you nervous. And I've asked clients in this pattern, let me just put this on the top. The inconsistency. It's a long word. Pattern. Okay. Consistency. I did spell it right. It's long. Okay. Here we go. Where was I? When you have a fear of success, what happens is you can only allow yourself to have so much. This is when the receiving block gets extremely prominent. And it's very threatening that you can have more. It's really threatening to be successful. And why? Is because you don't trust yourself, because you feel like I'm not enough. When you say I'm not enough, it's because all of this is confirming your limiting belief. You're afraid of success because if you're more successful, what's on the other side of success probably in your mind is more responsibility, I have to show up greater, which is true. As you become successful and you expand, there is all of this like, I have to show up. I have to play the part. And that's why they say in order to manifest like this future person you want to be, like you have to be that. That means you have to be consistent. That means you have to trust yourself. You have to be confident. But if you're not consistent, then your brain's constantly going to send, you're constantly going to be sending your brain a message like, I don't trust myself. That's impacting my self-worth, my self-love, my self-trust. And that's why this pattern, breaking this pattern is so important, because you can't show up in the vibration and the frequency that you need to in order to be the next level and the next version of yourself if you're constantly falling into this pattern. But if you're stuck in this pattern, you're probably addicted to it because it's in your comfort zone. So success on the other side of this person's mind is like, there's more responsibility. I have to show up greater. And what happens is I'm not enough because I keep falling off. I keep sabotaging myself. And every time you self-sabotage, right? So the fear is the being successful. I can't be successful. I can't help more people and I can't make more money or take more people's money because I don't trust myself to show up consistently as that version of myself. So then I self-sabotage because anything outside of that circle, I don't have room to draw. Maybe I'll draw it after. No, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because this is important. This is your capacity. Capacity. Love this word. You'll hear me say this a lot. Anything outside of this current capacity. So let's say you're making 50K a year here. 50K per year. That's your current capacity. But you want to make it to 100K per year. But that's outside of your current comfort zone. This is a comfort zone. That's outside of your current comfort zone. So anytime you try to take action, it just bounces off. Bounces off. You may have it for a second, and then somehow you'll have this really great month and you're like, yeah, I'm on my way to 100K. And then you'll have like three dead months because your energy system and your system is self-sabotaging you here. This is really the important part that we want to pay attention to, is breaking that, stopping this self-sabotage. Slowly but surely, I love baby steps here because those small baby steps, they build on one another. And patience is very important. Gosh, patience is a virtue. God is patient with us. We need to be patient with ourselves, please. And self-sabotage. This could look like avoidance, procrastination, really just messing it up for yourself, kind of like that person that didn't want to drink, but then he just goes out and drinks. It's like every time you self-sabotage, you just sent your brain the message, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Every single time you self-sabotage, every single thing you do sends your brain a message. I can't say it enough. And then you get this undesired outcome of stuck in the same place. Your 50K a year capacity. You can't seem to break into the 100K because your belief system cannot hold for it. And you're stuck in this pattern that keeps you confirming, I'm not enough. I'm still stuck at 50K a year. Why? Okay? Let's talk about how we can transfer this pattern. If you can get this one, this is the one people struggle with the most, the inconsistency pattern. If you can get this, you're good to go. I like to put the non-ideal pattern in red and the ideal pattern in green. So now we're going to use black for the ideal pattern. So this is, here we go, X. This is what we don't want. This is what we do want. Okay, I'm not enough. let's start with the belief. You could go simply to I am enough. I am enough. Like, that is my belief. I am enough. I have enough. I am enough. And this is a big one for me because this is something I struggled with in my past, and it caused a lot of chaos in my life. I am a recovering addict to chaos. And this was something that really helped me. And a big part, and again, like, if God is not your vibe, like, this channel is just not for you, because a big part of this work for me is God, and knowing that I am enough in God's eyes. Like, knowing that I'm a child of God and I am enough, because we just can't do this stuff on our own. It's easy for me to break down all this stuff and help you understand how your behaviors and your limiting beliefs, they impact you. But then it's like, what do you do with it? You give it to God, right? You give this away. Like, this is not mine. And that's where I like to go with this, is like, I am enough. Because it's so easy for me to sit here and tell you, like, oh yeah, I am enough. Like, just think that. But like, I'm saying, like, I am enough in God's eyes. Like, I am enough because Jesus died on the cross. Like, I am enough for all. And these are teachings, these are things that, like, have to land with you. You can go to church, you can hear all the things, you can do all the things, but like, when you really do your research and read on it and understand it, like, it is mind-blowing. You really are enough. Everything that you currently have is enough, and the rest is just extra. And when you get here, that's when you start manifesting. That's when your prayers become reality. When you align your desires with God's will, and then you go out and you get it because you know what you want, and you know that you're enough. And when you embody that, enough starts to come, instead of living in this place like nothing's enough. I don't have enough money in my bank account. I don't have enough time. Nothing's ever enough to, I am enough. All of a sudden, everything's enough when you believe you are enough. I felt the need, I had to explain that part, because it's not as simple as like, yeah, I'm enough. The affirmation. You have to believe it in your body. And I really want you to get there. And maybe I'll do another video on that. If you want me to do another video on that, let me know in the comments. So the fear of success then becomes taking on more responsibility. Like, coming up with these logical understandings of, like, I can handle more responsibility. I am capable. I trust myself. I am confident. And this is where I really like doing the perception versus reality. Versus reality. Because we can get really grounded in the truth. This is where we get grounded in the truth. Like, why? Why are you confident? Why can you trust yourself? And your perception of yourself has been your old pattern. Well, I used to not be able to show up, so I don't know that I can. Your reality is now that you're taking steps and you're not overpromising to yourself, right? And these are these new things that, with my clients, that's what we work in when we go a little bit deeper. But you really want to get to understanding, like, what's my reality? I'm fully capable. I just need to put a plan in place. Maybe I need some support. Maybe I need some accountability. And that's my reality. But your perception is, I can't do it. I fail myself every time, going back to this old pattern. I can't take on more responsibility. It's not possible for me to show up in the way that I want to consistently. But the reality is, you have so many resources and tools. You can get an accountability buddy. You can get somebody there for you. You are capable of it. You can. You're just stuck in an old pattern. That's the reality. And so getting clear on that opens up your mind to, like, oh, gives you a lot of power. I can do this. Okay, self-sabotage then becomes a consistent growth, really. Consistent growth. Self-sabotage, when you used to avoid or you used to mess it up, you take your practices. You have practices in place now. Practices and tools in place to, sorry, I just blanked out there. I was just looking at the whole pattern. Practices and tools in place to maintain consistency. Maybe you have a coach or accountability buddy. Right? Instead of constantly sabotaging your growth. And then this new outcome that you're going to receive is maybe higher income, greater health, greater relationships, right? Whatever that area it is that you're focusing on. We'll focus on like higher income here because that's what we were talking about, was like the 50K, moving to the 100K, but higher income. And once you start to receive these results and allow yourself to have it, you just confirmed this new message. I am enough. I'm here. I am worthy. I can do it. Right? And that's how you break out of these old patterns. But it's so important to start building a habit of consistency in all areas of your life. And I can tell you firsthand that when you're used to inconsistency and you have an addiction to chaos, then you may start getting consistent in one area, and then you may find yourself trying to cause havoc in other areas of your life. You may start fights with your partner. You may try to messy up your health and start eating lots of sugar again. Or you may just be throwing a wrench in things somehow, some way. You leave your home a mess, and all of these things that give you these past comforts of your old home base, your old mental state, your old emotions. So let's go into the emotions, because emotions are the language of the world. And if you want to see your prayers and your manifestations come into reality, then one, you need to get in alignment with what it is that your soul truly desires. But two, you're going to have to get into the vibrational frequency in order to actually see that manifest in your life. Oops. Because what's going to happen is, if you're here, hi, and feeling shame, guilt, apathy, anger. And what you're wanting to manifest is a like healthy, loving relationship, or this job where you easily make money and everything flows easily and you're passionate about your career. It's going to be really hard to get there when you are filled with low vibrating emotions such as this one. Because what you're describing, something like a healthy, loving relationship, or something like, this person's even taller, and manifesting a passionate career and something that's going to make you happy, requires emotions like courage, peace, love, joy, and all those other wonderful emotions. Maybe reason, like an understanding of the world. Because, and this person is more likely to manifest a joyful, loving relationship, a life of peace, and all of these beautiful outcomes because they're already embodying these emotions. Because when you're holding on to old emotions such as these, you're probably going to keep yourself in a state of chaos, a state of inconsistency, because it's going to keep you in this vibration. And let me tell you what this looks like. The journey from here to here is not comfortable. This is why not many people do it. Because what happens is people think that going from here to here is going to be easy and that all good things are going to happen along this little when you're walking this path. When you're walking along that path, people think, oh yeah, it should be getting better, it should be getting easier. What usually happens when you're about to up level? Let's go back to our chart. You take a dip. This is what happens when you're about to up level. You usually take a dip because you're leaving your old comfort zone. You are going from here, your old 50K per year space, to here, 100K per year space. And do you think stretching from here to here is comfortable? And that's what people say that's what they mean when they say growth is found in the discomfort. Because you have to be willing to take this uncomfortable walk from here to here. As you stretch out of your old emotional comfort zone, you are addicted to these emotions. You are addicted to feeling shame. You're addicted to feeling guilt. You're addicted to getting angry. And you're addicted to just giving up and feeling apathetic about it all. Because those are the patterns you're stuck in. You do not know how to be in peace, love, joy, courage, and have a full understanding of the world. You do not know how to be there. And when you're walking there, you are going to dive into unknown territories. You've got no idea what's coming next. You know what that means? You have to let go of control. You have to surrender to God. See, in my opinion, that's the only thing that's going to get you there. You have to trust in something you can't see in order to get from the darkness to the light and make this your new home versus this. Because I'm not saying you're going to live there forever. That's not really reality. But right now, I'm trying to tell you that you live here and you visit there from time to time. When you should really live there and you should visit there, release, feel those emotions, let them go and go back home. But right now, you just dip into peace, maybe on the weekends when you read a book for a couple of hours. Or you dip into love when you actually let yourself sit down with your partner and have quality time. You dip into joy maybe when you even go out and dance or have some fun, right? And maybe you even dip into reason and the understanding of the world when you sit by the water for a couple of hours and you have this profound experience with nature, whatever else, right? I'm trying to get you to live there, visit here. But if you're making this your home base and your comfort zone, you're going to have to take this journey. And that journey is not comfortable. And you're going to have to deal with the dips. Every single time I take a little bit further there, I get a little bit further, and I up level and I up level and I expand. This is expansion, y'all. This is expansion. You are expanding from here to here. And then you here to here. We're using money because it's a simple and easy way. And from here to here, 1 million per year. Some of you can't even imagine expanding to this level. And you do need to take your steps. Like don't go from 50K to 1 million and think like, yeah, I got it. Like let's take our baby steps. Like I said, I love baby steps because they build and stack over time and they create this long-term uptrend for our lives. And when you follow the uptrend and you be patient and you listen to God and you surrender and you trust in the process, and when you feel terrible about it, you feel your emotions, you let them go, but then you come back. I'm moving here. I'm moving in. And when you stand in that and you know the possibility, some don't think it's possible. That's on you. You have to shift your belief system. You even have to open your mind up to the possibility. Maybe you open up your heart to God and read on some text and understand that it is so possible. And what is the meaning of the life? And it is for us to enjoy the journey. I believe that we are given a destined we have a destined desires on our heart. That's why I'm a mindset coach, right? Like, not everybody wants to be a mindset coach, but I felt it on my heart and I feel it's right for me. And those are something that are kind of already imprinted, is my belief, because we feel this in our heart, like some things that we're meant to do. And that's undeniable, like this purpose. But you get to decide if you get there and how you get there. How you get there. God has given us free will. So you get to decide if you even get there, if you want to go there, and how you get there. And that's up to you. That's up to you. So I'll end it there. And if you are on the money train, I have a link in my bio for anyone who's interested in joining the Money Expansion Club. We dive into all this. I have a whole course in there about healing your relationship with money. And it's life-changing. I've seen unreal results, and I've gotten so much good feedback on the course and how it's helping so many people break out of their old patterns financially and break into new. And we also do live calls in there. So if you're interested in that, you can check out that link below. And again, leave some comments. I am interested to hear from you if this was helpful. What else would be more helpful? I really want to put out more and more stuff like this because it's changed my life personally, and I really hope it helps you. So that's it. Good luck.